Hey, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining. I am about to go to bed, but beforehand, I just wanted to spend some time in my sketchbook just doing some loose florals. As you may know, if you've seen my most recent YouTube video, I was gifted this set of beautiful watercolors with one simple instruction, um, and that was to use it. So, in the spirit of doing that, these are the colors that we're working with. And in the spirit of doing that, I just thought that I would take this opportunity to just chill and paint because I haven't done that in a little while. Oh, hey Tiamo, hey Kira, hey Ugo. Thank you so much for joining. Is anyone painting as well? So, loose florals are always like what I tend to go back to because I find them so um I guess relaxing, and I don't really think you can do them wrong. Not that you can do any art wrong, really. So just to start off with, these two sets, just in case you didn't see the video, these the top two rows are hey Gira, hey. The top two rows are Holbein and the bottom row is core. So I'll try and like not mix them up so that we can kind of see how these different paints work together. Oh, that's lovely. What are you painting, Tiamo? I'm using a Princeton Neptune. No, I wish. A Princeton Aqua Elite brush, and I'm just painting in my Moleskine sketchbook. And because it has been a while since I've done florals, I think the first few will just be super, super loose. I'm open to color scheme suggestions if you have some. Some more red. Hey, Annie. Thank you so much for joining. No, this is just me literally painting at midnight, half past midnight. I am very much a night owl. Um, although I'm trying to like get better at having a normal sleeping pattern. It's hard to break that habit. A blue jay. That's wonderful. It's been a long time since I painted any sort of animal. Are all of you using watercolors too? Yes, I definitely do that thing of looking at something for so long that all of a sudden it doesn't quite look right. But I am very much of a paint it in one go type of person. So usually I just have to persevere. I'm not saying that's like the right way of doing it. I'm just saying that I find it really hard to come back to a piece, especially if the reason that I stopped it is because I didn't like it. So it just has to be almost like a one and done. We're all loving watercolors. I must say, I feel like I like this and the colors are vibrant, but I almost feel like it's not quite flowing the way I want it to flow, and I don't know if it's because it's moleskin or why, but maybe I'll try a different paper in a second to see if that makes much of a difference. Thank you so much, Ugo. Honestly, I'm such a fan of loose watercolors. I'm not necessarily because they're easy, but I can switch off and relax when I do it. And I always find it quite hard because I feel like the pieces that I like the most are like my ink pieces and my more detailed work. But the pieces that I enjoy creating the most are the loose watercolor florals for the most part. If you have any questions, feel free to ask or comments. It's a bank holiday here, bank holiday weekend today. So I actually have tomorrow off. Another reason I can stay up so late. Oh my gosh. Kira, wow. That's to be fair, that's an easy mistake to make. But I am impressed that you were actually able to do that. I think my initial issue with watercolors was that I just had really low quality ones. Not even gonna lie. Not to say that I was like all brilliant, but my goodness, did they hold me back. So let's see. I want to be even looser than this. So I'm going up a brush size. Let's see. I like the Payne's Grey. Haven't tried doing florals with this shape brush, so this will be interesting. And again, I think the paper isn't quite working. Maybe this is what happens when the sizing is wrong. So I think I will have to switch papers and maybe just reserve this for my gouache. So now I'm just doing very light, well, trying to do very light bits of Payne's Grey as well as darker bits to maybe give the even lighter semblance of white flowers. I completely agree, Annie, and that's a lesson that I learned very the long and hard way, but I eventually learned it. I say that. That being said, I still haven't used, apart from the Bao Hong paper, which we can try and use in a second, I still have not used 100% watercolor paper yet. I tend to normally use, to be perfectly honest, this, which is the Princeton Aqua Elite watercolor brushes for my watercolors. I've only just bought these, the De La Rani Aqua Fine, and this is my first time using this one. And yeah, I like, for my watercolors, I'm a bit more particular. I like the Princetons, but for everything else, I don't really mind. So for my gouache, for example, I don't really mind, but I won't use my more expensive brushes on gouache, for example, because I don't want them to be damaged. So if I were to invest in a brush, it would be a watercolor brush, and everything else I think I can kind of get away with. For my gouache, I use these ones. the Graduate de la Raleigh mixed media brushes. Use the 100% cotton paper. I honestly, I don't know what it is about the paper. The idea of using that paper just, whew. I know I need to, and I know I'm going to. Um, the question is when. Let's try mixing a little bit more. I might switch because this paper, I don't know if you can tell, but this paper right now, it's not right. There's something wrong with it. And I don't know what it is or why, but there's something seriously not right. And I thought initially it's because I was painting on like the back side, so I thought this side would be better, but it's still the same. It's almost like pulling in the wrong way. It's being really funny. If anyone knows why, please feel free to tell me, but I think it's must be an issue with sizing. It's almost as if there's like a repellent, so the paint isn't actually getting soaked in. Hey, Temple. I'm good. How are you? Oh, did I see Julie's name earlier? I feel like I did. Hey, Julie. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, thank you, Thread and Glue. Welcome. Thank you, guys. Honestly, I really appreciate it. It's so funny because, like I say, every time I do a live stream, I get nervous beforehand, but I do it because I miss it. Like, I really enjoy getting to paint with you and chat with you guys and catch up. And yeah, especially at the moment, like I'm falling behind on the comp a little bit. I will catch up most definitely. But in the meantime, there's this. So these are the two pieces. And I don't know if you can see what I mean about the watercolor not acting right. So for example, here, this side now doesn't look as bad. This side is a lot worse. I will still fix it. Like I said, I will, but I need to get a different piece of paper because I can't deal with that. Let's try my De La Rani. Maybe at the end we'll have like a little comparison then of everything. Yeah, it is. It is a moleskin, and normally they're okay. Normally they're okay for me. Normally that like waxy effect doesn't affect both sides of the paper, or will be like a random part of the paper. But I actually think that if I look back, so this has my other florals, and I actually think that the reason I stopped using this was because that kept happening, and thus I didn't finish it. But I was thinking it might be a nice place to do more florals. I need to figure out something to do. I can't waste it, so I'll have to figure out something. Thank you so much, Temple. Honestly, I am beyond grateful. So, for those of you who don't know, I was gifted this set of watercolor paints by a subscriber with the instructions to actually use them, which is certainly not too much to ask. But yeah, so I am beyond blown away by her generosity, and she asked to remain anonymous, which is why I haven't like mentioned her name or anything. But yeah, I think that's another reason why I was feeling so inspired to paint today. This is a massive brush. In the name of being loose, let's see what happens. If this also doesn't work, then we all know it's actually me, but it's not me. Like genuinely, there's something wrong with that paper. So if it is a question of the sizing, something that Frugal Crafter has mentioned is that you can either resize it, which I will not do, or you can actually use it for your other mediums. So for example, your gouache or your pastels or inks, obviously, um, and just use it that way instead rather than letting the whole book go to waste almost. I love peonies, as you can probably tell. Thank you so much, Annie. Yeah, I definitely agree. More abstract than, and also, I mean, I wanted it loose. That was my aim to try and just loosen up. But I also wanted, I guess, some element of control. It's basically not what I wanted it to look like. And even though I wanted it to be loose, I still have a rough idea of the way it should behave. And also it just wasn't pooling right. Like I can't quite explain it. Like the paint wasn't actually sitting on the paper. It was almost like being repelled, almost as if I'd put wax on the paper. So it was moving in places that it shouldn't be. You should consider, why not both? I mean, I'm a doctor and also making YouTube videos. I think if you enjoy it and you want to and you have the time, then do both. Yeah, being a teacher is an amazing profession. Let's see. You know, I love that sap green. Oh, that's amazing. I can't I do a bit of teaching for like medical students, but not even younger generations, if that makes sense. They're only I want to say they're only a few years younger, but actually as I'm getting older, I realize no, they are quite young. But still they're adults, you know, who have picked a particular vocation and are committed to it. I can't imagine how hard it must be to teach younger children. But incredibly rewarding. I still remember like the teachers that had the most impact on me. You don't you don't forget them. I think this is hands down one of the biggest watercolor paintings I have ever done. Because this is A3. And this isn't a watercolor brush, it's a De La Rowley round size 26. Where is everyone watching from? Whereabouts in the world are you from? Yeah, no, this is the biggest, the biggest I have used. And it is literally because I thought bringing out the guillotine to like start cutting down the paper while on live wasn't necessarily a good look. So this is with the Holbein. Now I'm gonna try similar colors with the core. And the thing that stood out to me about the core watercolors is how like super vibrant they are. But not only that, like the way they move in water, wow. I don't quite know how they do it. Let me show you. But when I was trying to do swatches, I would literally like put a little bit like, can you see that? Maybe you can't. Can you see how it's just like moving on its own? And the paper isn't even that wet. It's just almost like, yeah, I've never seen anything quite like that. Normally you put it and maybe there's like a little bit of motion, but this whole thing of like just going wherever it wants to go, amazing. Yeah, no, I normally like this is okay, not the first time. There was another time that I had like I left it as a big A3 sheet, but it was because I was doing swatches of like an entire like palette, and for some reason I don't know, maybe I didn't know where my guillotine was, but basically I concluded that it would just be easier for me to divide it into sections in my head and do it across the big piece of paper, but not like this. This is just genuinely for the sake of being polite, given that I started this live stream. Um, but yeah, just goes to show when you use a sketchbook that you haven't used in a while. I want this more yellow. Yeah, I mean, look at that. It just moves. So these are peonies, these are roses, both abstract. And let's see. Hi from Scotland. Thank you so much for joining, Alpine. Yeah, it's 1 a.m., isn't it? Um, thank you so much for joining and sweet dreams. Notting Hill Gate. Wait, as in like Notting Hill? Like London? Thank you so much for joining, Robot Crew. So sorry guys if I'm replying slowly. It's just it can be a bit tricky to like paint and also see the messages at the same time. So if I miss something, I'm not ignoring you. By all means, feel free to send it again. It's just that I missed it. You see the flow in. It was so weird because I was honestly swatching and I noticed it by accident because I wasn't like going out of my way to do wet on wet technique. And then it like the paint just started moving across and I was like, wait, did I imagine it? And then I did it again. I was like, no, I didn't imagine it. It's just moving. I think it will yield for some really nice, really nice, like wet washes. But I do also think it makes it harder to control because if there's like a tiny bit of a wet area near, whereas normally you'd get a little bit of like bleed back with this, it just literally goes for it. Look at that flowing. Okay, I'm like, I love to see it. I saw someone say something about the way that I see color. Thank you. It's something that I want to get better at. So I missed who said it and I can't I was scrolling back to see it, but I couldn't find it. But I appreciate it. I want this darker. Um, sketches and I was gonna say sketches and scrubs. Creating cute art and I are doing a collaboration called CNS Calling, and we're basically like going to play a game where she picked one of my gouache faces and she painted it like interpreted it almost like art telephone. Then from that, I'm going to paint it based on her using her painting as my reference. And then I'm going to pass it on to somebody else who's going to do that, and so on and so forth. And you all are, by all means, welcome, encouraged to do the same. It is portraits. And the reason that we picked portraits is because neither of us, it's not what either of us like would pick as a first thing to do, but the aim is to like have fun and like no pressure. And our hope is, or my hope is that if you see it and you're like, oh, okay, well, these art YouTubers created this piece of art, and even though it's not their thing, so I can experiment too. I can have fun too. And then also, I thought it would result in some really interesting final pieces because we can see the contrast, right? We can see how it started and where it went. Yeah, Notting Hill. Yeah, in London. Oh wow, I didn't realize you were in London. Hey, Shadow Guard. Do my hospital colleagues follow me on YouTube? No. My hospital colleagues do not know I have YouTube. They probably don't know. I think most of them don't know I paint. Um, I don't know why. Like I feel quite I'm not normally a shy person. Um, but I don't know. I feel like with my art, I have been a little bit shyer. Like initially when I started my Instagram, I didn't tell anyone. Like I didn't show my face, um, didn't say my name. So it was just literally about my art. And then as I grew more comfortable with the community on there, I told like I showed my face, and then eventually I started YouTube, and again I showed my face, but I haven't like told anyone about it. I kind of like it to be, I like the fact, oh no, I got this over it. I like the fact that it's separate, if that makes sense. So I accidentally splattered it before, but I actually kind of like liked the effect, even though it was initially an accident. So that's what I'm trying to recreate. um, so actually tell it like I have, and even in terms of like, oh, that's a bigger splatter than I intended, but it will do. Here's in the name of trying something different. Um, even of like in terms of friends, only my really close friends know about my YouTube. Just wanted like a nice safe space separate from everything else. And that is what I've built. I figured eventually it can't stay like this forever, right? Eventually, people will hear and people will know and people will find out. But I hope that by that point, I won't really care. Thank you so much. Hey, Shadow Guard. Um, yeah, I've seen Notting Hill, the movie. Welcome, Ava. Thank you so much. Kira, that is not embarrassing. That is totally legit. It's because they look like jelly. Like they actually look delicious. And like yes, they look like pudding cups. Exactly. So that's why. um so I've looked at it, I've never done it. I don't recommend it, but I can see why. Ah, I had no idea. I wonder how you see my paintings. Like you must see them completely differently. So we're talking about the challenge when so I really didn't know what to expect, and I my imagination is something that I want to like again work on, if there's such a thing that can be done. But I mean like I if I was starting the challenge and I was painting Maggie's painting, I think I would have probably just recreated her painting, like tried to it would basically look similar. But she made all these like wonderful stylistic choices and changed things. So I was completely blown away and very surprised because I could tell the similarities, but it did look completely different. Um, so I think in the end, it's a really good thing that she started it off. But it has made me think that I need to, yeah, so I was really blown away. But yeah, I need to try and figure out what I'm actually going to do for the challenge. I was meant to do that today, but instead, I recorded a video which I was going to post tonight. I don't know what's going on, but I was basically going to post the video tonight. And at the moment, it takes my computer 2 hours to save a video, and 1 hour and 58 minutes into it, it just like deleted it. Oh gosh. And because I was coming live, I couldn't restart the saving. It should have ended 15 minutes before the live stream, but instead it just deleted, logged off, all done. So I'm going to try and do it again overnight, but I'm kind of worried because sometimes if my computer goes to sleep, then it will eject the hard drive incorrectly. Anyway, all logistical stuff to say that the video will probably come on Wednesday now. Yeah, exactly, Julie. They don't know. I think a few friends know that I paint because I like made cards for them. But apart from that, only my nearest and dearest, yourselves included, know about this side to me. I'm just using my uni pen fine liner 0.8 size because I like adding some ink to it. And when I add ink, again, I'm very loose with it. I think because parts of it are still wet, it's not quite working the way I want. But there are some some points in these sleeves that I really love, like when they're just, I think the Holbein, when it bleeds into it, is like a lot more um like subtle, and I really, really like that. See, I love portraits as well in terms of like looking at them, and I would love to be able to do portraits properly. And I feel like the portraits that I've done have a likeness to the person I am drawing or painting, um but they're not quite what I see in my head. Thank you so much, Linda, and welcome. Oh, thank you so much for joining, Shadow Guard. Bye. You most definitely should join, Annie. It doesn't have to be gouache. My initial one was gouache, but my plan is to actually do the next one in watercolor because I want there to be like a tangible difference between I don't want to like just end up recreating what I created 2 years ago, especially given the fact that I already know my natural instinct is to try and copy rather than recreate. And I think if I was anyone else, I think I would be happy with just copying. But I think given that I'm putting it on YouTube, it might not be that inspiring to you guys if you see me copy my own work in the same way, you know? I know, Temple. Honestly, even yesterday, what was wrong with it? Yesterday it saved. And so it takes 2 hours to save, it takes like an hour and a half to upload to YouTube. And as it was uploading to YouTube, I randomly like opened the file just to check it, which I don't normally do. I probably should, but I don't normally do. And as I was like scrolling through it, I noticed that like half of the video, like the half in the middle, had just deleted the files. It was just like a black screen that was upside down and basically said like media file missing. After like 2 hours of saving, honestly, I could have cried. Um, so I had to like stop uploading on YouTube, go back, re-edit the video, like that middle part, and then save it again, which again take 2 hours, and then upload it. So in the end, that video went up at 1 a.m. again, and I just wanted it done. I didn't mind the time. I was just like, I can't deal with continuing to do this tomorrow, especially because like I'd done it all day. Um, and if it wasn't for the fact that I love that video and looking at it just makes me happy because of the gift, um, I don't know if I would have done it again. But yeah, it was worth it. So I don't know why I've been having all these technical difficulties. Even like right now, when I was trying to log on, it my Wi-Fi went down, so I'm actually using my phone data. Oh well, we continue to persevere. I have not tried the Copic motor liners. I think who did I just see? I feel like I just saw someone use them, either creating cute art or Miranda or the floral crafter. Basically, the last three people that I watched. I've seen them. I haven't used them yet, but they do look great. And for me, to be honest, I'm not really that particular about fine liners. I just need them to like last a good amount of time, be waterproof, and be affordable, especially because I go through them quite quickly. You're not horrible, Annie. That's really sweet. It's all my family know about my YouTube channel. I'm ashamed to say, even when I start, to be fair, when I started my Instagram, no one knew, family included, no one. It was a completely, it was, I mean, I started in at the beginning of the pandemic, and yeah, it was just like literally a completely random place for me to put my art. So I didn't tell anyone. It was almost like a art diary. Not that I was writing anything like deep or super emotional or anything like that, but I don't know. And also, I guess I kind of felt a bit shy. There's there's a protection that comes with anonymity, I think. Like a comfort that comes with anonymity. Um and also a lack of accountability. This is what I'm saying, Kyra. I should also, and is it Kira or Kyra? Am I saying it? Please correct me. But yeah, I feel like, oh, I'm young. I shouldn't be having all these technical difficulties. These are waterproof. the uni pin, and they're cheaper than the like Faber Castells and the Microns. Microns are also waterproof. But I found the Microns ran out on me really quickly, and again were more expensive. And I don't think that that may just be me because they do seem to be really popular. But that's why I don't use them as much. Kyra. Okay, cool. Thank you. What do we think? I want to add. I'll just add a few more lines and then I will be done. Thank you. You guys are too kind. I think maybe it was you threading glue designs. As in, today I watched a video of someone who opened a subscription box, and in there were Copic fine liners that were blue. Like there was a Copic fine liner that was blue. Was that your video? I don't know why I can't remember whose video it was. I remember the hand, so I guess it wasn't the frugal crafter. Yeah, it wasn't. Was it? No. Thank you so much. Um, and yeah, I saw that quite a few people like the Pentel brush. I watched someone's haul video and they were talking about it. And I think I may have one. I haven't used it, but I feel like someone may have. Someone gave me a Pentel pen, but I don't know if it's the same one that's all the rage at the moment. Can I be honest? Part of the reason that I went live is because I had makeup on and I was like, I feel like I didn't go out. I haven't done anything. Um, it's a bit of a waste to to look so nice and no one sees. So I thought, okay, I need to go out. What's my way of going out? It's live stream. Um, yeah, I like it. I need to. Which side do you prefer out of curiosity? Is it the Holbein? No, ignore me. Is it the core or the Holbein? I want to do another one, but feel like I should do a different color scheme. Mm, there was one I almost want to do like grey and yellow. Let's see. Is that too sober? Just creating a pearl. There we go. And so, oh yeah, this is the piece that I was talking to you guys about. I was testing out the Paul Rubens. So I did that on this piece. This is Bloom Where Planted. Thank you so much, Kyra. Some ASMR for you. Oh, okay. So if anyone has any color suggestions, feel free to make them. I'm going to continue painting with my gigantic brush. I feel at the very least, at least you can see it clearer. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Annie. Should we try some earth tones? Wonder if this will make sense. Mm. So funny because these paints really do behave differently. Like, I put the Holbein don't move, don't move. The core run. Normally when I am painting, I am watching TV. I am watching crime dramas. That's what I normally doing. JRM, Junior M. I will do purples next because I love purples. I don't know if purples will go with this though. So I'll probably finish this and then I'll do purples. I don't know why I picked up browns. I think it's just because I don't normally. So I just wanted to see how that would go. But I think this experiment is going to be very short-lived. Do I have any crime document? So the crime shows I watch aren't documentaries; they're like crime dramas, and I'm ashamed to say I've watched quite a few. So Criminal Minds. I'm watching NCIS at the moment, which I know, like, I went all the way back to the beginning, and because one, I haven't watched it before, and I just wanted something that I could watch for a long time. You know, I'm tired of looking for a new show all the time. So this one has, I think, 20 seasons, and I was like, that's what I need. um, but yeah, it's so weird. It's not only when I'm painting, but also when I am um just like relaxing. My go-to thing to do is watch crime dramas. If it's not a crime drama, it's a medical drama. And if it's not a medical drama, it would be a law drama if I hadn't finished watching my law dramas, if that makes sense. I kind of got bored of Suits. Um, but like I love The Good Wife, um, Designated Survivor, Madam Secretary, Grey's Anatomy, The Resident, Code Black, Chicago Med. There's quite a few. Oh, Bones. Yeah, loved Bones for that very same reason. And on Bones, like I still remember I also like superhero stuff. So I've also watched like Agents of Shield and started watching Loki. I need to go back to it. But I what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Bones. Bones had one of like the best plot twists that I still remember the moment I got goosebumps. Um if you've watched it, it's to do with Stephen. Bailey Syrian. I have not watched that. Yeah, Julie. They do amuse me indeed, especially because they're just a lot of them, most of them are just so unrealistic. And I think that's what I like about them. I like things that are somewhat unrealistic and, you know, far-fetched from reality. Like Grey's Anatomy is just hilarious for that reason. Um and they'll have like I used to love House as well. At least House had I mean House had like legitimate medical conditions, but the rarest form of the rarest condition that you will ever hear of. It was actually a bit ridiculous. Um but still, it was good to watch almost like when you're doing like med school revision, right? Because these are conditions that you don't see but you get taught about. So while watching it, for example, anyway, I don't know if this will make sense to anyone who's not a medic, but like there was an episode where was it someone had like leishmaniasis, and I was like, and I picked that. They always say it's lupus, but I don't remember anyone actually having lupus. There was what leptospirosis. There was someone who had leptospirosis, and I like realized, and I was just like, oh, this is amazing. Have I ever seen it in medical practice? Never, not once, not one time. Um, but yeah, that's why it's so nice. And then I mean, yeah, Grey's Anatomy, like all the drama, the plane crashes, the like the threats, the yeah. The one thing I would say about Grey's Anatomy is they're so sad. It's a lot like they got rid of my favorite characters, and that's another thing that I don't like. Like I like some level of consistency, you know. I like the fact that I come and I'm like I can rely on this character being here today. And with Grey's Anatomy, you can't rely too tough. And I think I haven't watched Game of Thrones, but I heard that it was similar. And I was like, yeah, I just can't deal with like having my favorite character killed off all the time. Yeah, I remember House. I loved House. I haven't seen the TikTok hospital thing. I don't have Tik. Well, do I? I have TikTok. I just don't know my login. Haven't used it in months. I think I started it. I don't even think I created a TikTok. I may have created just one and then like got bored. I like long form content, as you can probably tell by this 55-minute live stream. Um, so for me, the short term just doesn't quite do it. Like even I haven't done many shorts for that same reason, or reels or whatever. I don't have Netflix. People are normally like, "What? You don't have Netflix?" Yeah, no. Grey's Anatomy, the traumas are unreal, unrealistic, and yet, I do love watching it. I am a fan of Shonda Rhimes. A fan of Shonda Rhimes. I can't lie. If it were up to me, it would never stop. That being said, I don't like Meredith. I like her more now than I did, but as in like maybe for the first 17 seasons, I didn't like her. I loved Christina and Lexi. Ugh, these are all Grey's Anatomy people, for those wondering who I'm talking about. No, I agree with I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube, but I agree with that. I think that's why I used to, well, I used to, I finished Scandal to be fair, but season 2 of Scandal was a bit much and I almost stopped watching it because of that. I was like, can we just have one episode where there is no indecency? Maybe let's make a nice purple. Nope. Uh-huh. More red. Heading towards brown. Still heading towards brown. Heading towards red. Still heading towards red. I think we're there. Yeah. Oh, such a nice purple. That was nicer than I expected. I think because of all those like colors that I mixed in accidentally. But you can see them peeking through. Well, I can see them peeking through. I hope you can too. But basically, like reds, purples, and different shades of reds and purples and blues peeking through. Yeah, you might like it. It is like medicine, but it's a lot of like drama. It can be sad though. That's the one thing I would say with Grey's Anatomy. Don't get too attached. um, but if you like medical dramas, then you will probably like it. And Shonda Rhimes tend to like very strong female leads as well, so that's quite good and nice to see. And it's like a diverse cast as well. Thank you so much. See, I remember the purples. Thank you for the suggestion. I'm really, really, really loving purples recently. I didn't notice, I'm not gonna lie, until I looked back on my Instagram feed. I was like, what's going on? It's a lot of purple everywhere. And this is core, this is Holbein. I keep switching between the two. This was all Holbein. And I almost wonder. Let's see. If instead of doing like a fine liner outline, oh, do I want that? I can do a watercolor outline. So much for a sketchbook session. Still, I think it counts now. The intent was there. I think we in the UK spell it grey with an E, but I don't know if Americans spell it grey with an A. I think these lines are bolder than they would be with a fine liner. And perhaps more expressive. I asked in my community tab, and thank you to everyone who's answered, like whether you think it's important to have an art style. Like, do you guys have an art style? Do you think it's important? Because I don't think I have one. I think if you look at my Instagram, you'll see like florals, you'll see urban sketches, you'll see landscapes, you'll see gouache, you'll see a whole bunch of different things. Thank you, te amo. But sometimes I wonder if my florals have a style. I don't think it's something I'm striving for. Someone pointed out that it would, I guess, bear more significance if I wanted to be like, if I wanted my work to be instantly recognizable, right? Like Picasso's cubic work, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's a Picasso. Or you'll look at Van Gogh's and you'll be like, oh yeah, look at the brushstrokes, that's Van Gogh. But if not, then it doesn't, I don't know. I'm only thinking because when I look at my florals, I wonder if there is a style. I think there is. Like, I think you could probably tell they're done by the same person. But if you were to look at my landscapes, you wouldn't necessarily notice or know that it's the same person who's painted all these things. That's what I do as well. Welcome, my artist life. Welcome, Mona. What do you think for these two? Outline or no outline? This is like the question that I ask myself all the time. The $1,000,000 question. Let me know what you think. No, I think everyone's quite similar. I agree. I can't I just like experimenting. But I guess maybe one day I'll be like, "Oh yeah, this is my art style." Should that happen, I will let you know. Until then, we'll continue this fun ride together. It's so funny because were it not for this being gifted, genuinely, there's no way that I would just be casually painting with these paints. I'd be like, no, they're too dear, they're too expensive. I want them to last forever. I was saying, I was making a joke in the comments that were it not for the fact that the subscriber said she wants them used, there's a good chance that I could like be showing them in, I don't know, 50 years time to like my grandchildren and be like, oh yeah, you see, these are the paints that I got when I was on YouTube, and you'll notice that they're in complete perfect condition. I haven't used them at all. But obviously that's not what she said, that's not what she wanted, and that's not what I'm going to do. But had she not said it, that's exactly what would have happened. Mm. Do you think that you would enjoy um like live stream swatching sessions? Let me do a poll. I ask because I have quite a few swatching videos to make. Um or to like edit, but they take me a while to edit. So I was just wondering if it's something that in theory I could do as a live stream, because I do find them like helpful and I do learn from them. I just don't know if it's things people want to see. Welcome. Oh my gosh. Subscribe today. Welcome, Kyra. I didn't realize you guys subscribed today. I agree. I've seen Ali Bean. Her style is very unique. But I guess it must have taken years to come to that. And I agree, Julie. Like we can be so funny about our special surprise. Or certainly I am. I still have some supplies that I haven't used yet, but I will. I keep saying that I will. I most definitely will. And I think there's a level of accountability that comes from being on YouTube, because there's only so many times I can say that I'll do something on video before I actually have to do it. So um I'll get better about using my better art supplies. And I think also because it does make like a difference to skill, not to say that having really good art supplies will all of a sudden make you a better artist, but I do think that sometimes um certain supplies can actually hold you back a bit. At least certainly when I was using non-watercolor paper for my watercolor paintings, I was being held back. I'll quite happily confirm that. Oh, this thing wasn't scrolling down. Is uh is watercolor my favorite medium? I think it depends on the day. um, it's between watercolor and gouache, and part of me feels like gouache is coming out on top more recently. Um, when I first started, it was definitely watercolor, but and again, I think it depends on what I'm painting. So if it's landscapes, hands down gouache landscapes. If it's floral, hands down watercolors. So so it's a little bit of both. Yeah, those two. Or what are your favorite supplies? Or your favorite medium, shall we say? We have the same favorites. It's funny because they behave so differently, but yeah, I do love both. I do actually love both. I It genuinely does depend on the day. Like I'm pretty sure I put up this quiz asking people this a few weeks ago, and I think at the time my response was gouache, or maybe it was watercolor. I don't know. It was a decision I made like with it in the minute because I didn't know. Even though I was the one asking the question, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is such a hard question. How do we pick just one?" Thankfully, we don't have to. I haven't used them together yet. Annabella, did you change your name? Random question. Cara, you like a lot of things. Women after my own heart. Um, and acrylics sometimes. In theory, I feel like I should like acrylics, right? Because the reason that I like gouache isn't just because they're matte. I like the way that they work. And in theory, I feel like a lot of the time I get better control with acrylics, so I should like them more. But when I look at my acrylic paintings, I don't tend to love them as much as I love everything else. No problem, Annabella. It's just I like, yeah, I like. I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure the name was different before, but I wasn't sure. Yeah. Okay, fine. So it's not just me, it's not in my head. You did actually have a different name. See, I pay attention. I do try to get to know all of you and thus I notice things like that. There's no judgment here, Annie. Welcome to Art Lovers Anonymous. On today's edition, we are doing loose watercolor florals because I have given up on uploading my haul video. Oh, I most definitely could do that. Most definitely could do that. In fact, probably need to stop doing that. Mm, Oh, I do not even buy clothing. It's I'm not even joking. Literally, outfits, my clothes come from my siblings or from my mum. I either steal my younger sister's clothes or she doesn't want them anymore, so she'll give them to me, or my mum will buy me something, or birthday and Christmas, my siblings will take that opportunity to buy to buy me clothes. But bar that, not doing it. And the thing is, I was frugal before anyway, but um, like falling in love with art supplies, my goodness, just meant that I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to spend it on that then. Nothing else. That and food and transport to work so I can make more money for more art supplies. This is a mix mash of colors, isn't it? But what else can one do when they have this entire spread? Thank you so much, Annabella. Wow. No, I most definitely haven't lost a significant amount of weight in a long time. I haven't gained weight either, so thankfully I can just keep my clothes. Although, yeah, I'm gonna be moving soon, so I actually will start giving things away so that I can figure out how to pack everything and go. But yeah, clothes have never really been my thing. Handbags have been my thing. Love handbags. But even that I like stopped buying because I'd rather have a sketchbook than a handbag. And yeah, everyone who has a series suggestions, by all means, please make them because shame to say I'm 11 season into NCIS. Make of that what you will, and soon I will finish it. I'm not even gonna lie. And I should slow down. I will slow down because there aren't that many 20 season episodes that I can turn to once I finish it. I was also watching The Flash, which like I like, and I stopped watching because it went on like hiatus break and whatever, and I just hadn't picked it back up again. But I must say, like, when like a show all of a sudden it's, and I mean it was superhero stuff anyway, so it's not that it was like realistic, but there was some element of like it somewhat made sense to me, right? And then they started doing all this stuff, and I'm not gonna spoil anything, but when it's like, oh, the power of love will overcome everything and everyone will win, and which I was like, I don't mind the good people winning. In fact, that's what I'm rooting for. It's just this whole like our love. I'm just like, this is not, I want a superpower. Love is not a superpower. But they turned love into a superpower, and I was just like, what is this? So make I'm finding it a little bit hard to get back into. Mm, oh, I need to get healthier as well. I need to like exercise and eat right. In fact, the sleep on time. I'm a very much a do as I say and not as I do. Do not do as I do. Doctor's advice. My gosh, we really do make the worst patients. What I'm using right now is a Dale& Rowney pad. So it's like cellulose based paper. Um it's A3 size. And I really like it. Like I like it for my practice stuff. It doesn't do that weird paper thing that the Moleskine sketchbook was doing. It just tends to be like my reliable practice paper, if that makes sense. Um that being said, still haven't really used my watercolor, my like 100% cotton. Part of me is scared that I'll use it and then not want to use anything else. And what am I going to do with all this cellulose paper that I've bought? But yeah, that's what I'm using. I don't know where I'm moving to. Mrs. Maisel, need to write that down. Yeah, I've watched and finished Friends. Um, yeah, I have Converse as well. I don't know where I'm moving to because as part of like medicine or whatever, we change hospital every year, but I don't find out until later on this year. Um, but irrespective of where my next placement is, I will still have to move out of here. Um, so I need to start. I need to calm down on the halls because everything I buy, I will have to carry. Can you see? It's too light to see, isn't it? Oh, I just love that movement. I don't even know when I'm like looking at the core, I don't even know if my paintings make sense. I'm just busy watching the paint flow on the paper. I'll show you. Yeah, I mean, shouldn't have been. Oh, I don't know if I like this, but medium. Oh, I did watch Ghost Whisperer. Reminds me of Plane Crash, Ring a Bell. um, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I watched. Bones, I've watched. NCIS, I'm watching and loving. Supernatural, I haven't watched. Criminal Minds, I watched and love. I love Spencer, like from that show. Like he's just the nicest person and he's so smart. I just absolutely love him. Oddly enough, I didn't really like Morgan. Just seemed really arrogant. Um, Nothing against Shay Marmore, but is it even Shay Marmore? I think it is. Can't remember who it is now. Oh, well done on finishing your painting, Annie. No, no, no. I don't think it will make anyone upset, Kyra. Their relationship was really weird. uh, okay. Turning the page. I'm not going to do like a whole new painting, but I just really wanted to show you guys, if I can. Or do I have, where's my thing? No, I don't have it. Just wanted to, should be using clean water for this. Just wanted to show you how the paints behave. So this is core, for example. Can you see that? And same color in Holbein. Do you see what I mean about the way that they move? Like, core. Holbein. Core. It's getting harder for them to move because there's so much paint, right? Holbein. And I'm not mad at it. They're just completely different. Pick a color, any color. I don't know what it is about it, but this is what I mean, like completely different. It was actually quite fun to do. Let me see. Yeah, they all do it. Look at that red. And it seems to be a thing that basically like all the colors do it. So even that, can you see that little bit touch there and it starts spreading straight away? Let's take this color. And again. I don't know. I think it depends because I find core harder to use because I don't have any real control, any proper control. If it's wet, I can't control where I can't predict where core is going. Whereas with Holbein, I have a better idea of what is going to happen and where it's going to go and how the paint is going to sit. But the same cannot be said for core. Yeah, exactly that, Junior. Especially, I think if I'm doing paintings like this, although I did both types and I'm mixing colors and things, I had to be very mindful of where I was layering the cut, like where I was putting the colors, because otherwise they would bleed into each other quite a lot. And this is our last one. So I almost feel like, okay, it's 2 a.m. I should basically say goodnight. So shall we do one last one and then I'll go to bed because it is 2 a.m. Whoops. Getting paint on my bed. Hold on. Um, they're both watercolors. I don't know. I mean, the binders must be different. I know that Holbein is like Japanese. Thank you so much, Maddie. Welcome. I know that Holbein is Japanese made watercolor. Um, but it's like Japanese made European style watercolors, so they still almost behave like, our Winsor and Newtons and all the other ones. It doesn't have honey. They feel similar, but they behave so differently. I know that like Holbein doesn't have any like animal binder. I don't know if that's why. I don't know. I guess the question is what is in core that makes it act like that, and I'm not sure. Let me just change my water because it's gone beyond the level that is acceptable. Ooh. Okay. Hey, thank you for waiting. uh Thank you so much for joining, Eva. Have a good night. Aquasol. Yeah, it just behaves so. I didn't realize this has been here. It just behaves so differently. I don't think I can. Yeah, okay. Sorry for the shaky camera. Should stop in a second. There we go. Okay, so final suggestions for the night. Oh, I almost wonder. Do you remember, like, I did the Venice painting? I wonder, can I remember how I did it? Shouldn't take too long. I don't even feel like I drew anything last time. Okay. Just wondering how. Let's see. Just want to see how well they will blend together. Thank you so much for sharing, guys. Just again, want to do a quick comparison of the two. But yeah, I think this is why core is harder. You could see that when I put the colors, like they literally just had a mind of their own. And with regards to the blending, it wasn't like they were blending into each other nice and softly. They were like having veins into each other almost. Which is not what I wanted. Whereas with the Holbein, well, that's brighter than I wanted. Where I put the color is where it will sit. And because it's wet on wet, they're blending into each other more gently. That makes sense. So it's just offering a little bit more control. I have not one but two extremes in the same palette. And let's see, is it dry? That being said, I'm really enjoying like experimenting with them and learning about them because really and truly, like I said, the whole core behavior thing, learned it completely by accident. I didn't even know watercolor could move like that. And I think it would work for me a lot better for like loose abstract pieces, like really abstract, because it does have a mind of its own. I wanted to see if I could recreate the Venice paintings, but they're too wet for that. So maybe what I will do instead is just nice gradients. And I think at some point I will separate these parts. I mean, not that I would mistake them. I do find it so funny though that they are completely different. These almost feel like, I wonder, using them together, do they still move? Yeah. Core dominates basically. You can still see it move. Okay. Now, now one last painting. I'm gonna put this together. Okay. Oh no. Switch to this side. Okay. Bye, Kyra. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, my phone died, which I think is probably a sign that it is time to go to bed, or at least time for me to go to bed. Thank you so much for joining. In answer to your question, Maddie, no, I don't have Discord. Do you guys have Discord? Do you use Discord? Uh, your two favorite bands? I also have, I'm just going to go back before I go, I'll just go back and answer the questions that I missed. So I also have the Holbein gouache, like I bought a tiny 5 mil set just to try. Again, I haven't tried them out yet, but I am eager to do so because I have heard the same things, that they're very highly pigmented, that they work quite nicely. So that's why I got it, and I'm curious to try that. Yeah, Core and Holbein in the same box, courtesy of a subscriber who kindly gifted me both paints. To be fair, I'm the one who decided to put them together, but yeah, she gifted both of them to me, and I just thought it would be nice to have a palette that reminds me of her every time I use it. And yeah, Core does exactly what it wants. And then the last question is about Discord. So no, I don't have Discord yet, and it's so funny. I was speaking to Moni D Major and Creating Cute Art. They also have YouTube channels on here, and they and Moni D Major was mentioning Discord, and it sounds good. I haven't tried it. I don't mind trying it, especially because I like hanging out with you. So I think that it may, anything that makes that easier, then I'm happy to do, and I'm happy to try. Do you have a Discord, Maddie? Ah, oh, you do love Discord. It's so funny because part of me, Moni does not have like a public Discord, I think, but she was talking about it and kind of telling me about it. So I was like, oh, this is cool. But then part of me was worried that people wouldn't want an extra thing to like do or to follow on, if that makes sense. Like, I always wonder, I find that quite a few people who watch me on YouTube, for example, don't also follow me on Instagram. Like, they don't want the crossover. So I didn't know if I created a Discord, if it would be something that people would want to do. But I'm open to it because I think it might work nicely for like our live streams. I also really want to do like Zooms. I just think it would be so nice to actually hear you, even if you don't want to have your face up, or you don't, obviously you don't have to speak, but I just think it would be nice to like interact a bit more. Um, so we'll see when I do that. I mention this every time I go live, but one day I'll do it. And also, another part of me wants to do it because then I can have my music. As nice as it is to have like this chill um, music in the back, I like to have more hype Afro beats or R&B music. um, so that's why. Oh no, Maddie, I'm sorry about the Instagram. Honestly, yeah, Instagram's like security thing. It's really hard, I find, to fix once like you get locked out. And I know that they give you these random 6-digit security codes, but who like keeps that? I don't keep that. Hello, Tony. Thank you so much for joining. Sorry, so we've been painting for We've been painting for over an hour, but my phone unfortunately died, which means that we don't have the overhead camera anymore. Um, so I was just going to wrap up and go to bed, but beforehand, I thought that I would answer people's questions slash just chat. Um, does anyone have, and no pressure, but does anyone have like any um, particular videos that they'd like to see? I do want to see your finished painting. Feel free to share your Instagram handle, Annie. And I have one that's personal. Well, to be fair, I have one that's personal that used to be like completely personal, just have my family on it. But now I have like a whole bunch of other people. So part of me wants to create another one that's actually a personal one, have that one as a general one, and then I also have my Instagram one. Um like as in my art Instagram one. That being said, I like landscape painting tutorial. Good idea. That being said, I like the reason that I mainly go on Instagram now is so that I can interact with artists, like other artists. I'm not really watching reels, I'm not creating reels, I'm not even posting as much as I should or as much as I want to. Um Thanks, Annie. But I just find that, for example, if someone wants to get in touch with me, it would be easier to DM me than to message me in the comments and have it be open, if that makes sense. Also, regarding comments, I've fallen behind. I will catch up. I reply to every message. I read every message. Um, but yeah, I've fallen behind. I will catch up throughout the week and reply to everyone. So if I haven't replied yet, there's one of two explanations. One, it is less than a week old and I haven't finished replying to all of them, it or YouTube has started like flagging quite a few of my comments. Um as in, I think if it's too long, then it'll think it's spam, so it'll delete it. If it's got a link, it will automatically get deleted. Um so if your messages have anything like that and I haven't replied, that's why. Oh, thank you so much for joining, Lindor. No problem at all. I've literally just been painting and chilling for the past hour and 53 minutes. Um, but unfortunately, my phone died, hence why it's just my face now. So this is me like slowly saying goodnight while answering questions and also taking some video suggestions. Yeah, yeah, Maddie, it does. I don't know why it does. Well, I do know why. It's kind of trying to like cut down on it's they're saying they're trying to, protect users especially or protect creators especially from like negative comments and things. But I haven't seen negative comments unless YouTube's really good and it's just deleting all the negative comments I've been receiving all this time. Um but I know like say for example, um if someone sends me something like, "Oh, you'll like this video or check out my channel," or something like that, automatically goes. And I didn't realize that for the longest time. So I hope that these people who wrote don't think that I ignored them because I really do love reading the comments and love replying to comments. Um, so I'll do that, but I'm open to Discord. The other thing that I was thinking about is like potentially a Patreon. Um, but I don't know. I don't know because as work starts to get busier, as in like one of I'm either gonna have to do one of two things: create less videos or um yeah, create less. Yeah, I need to figure it out basically. What I'm doing at the moment, I don't think is conducive with lasting a long time because at the moment I just don't have breaks. I just work and YouTube and I love YouTube, but um I kind of get no breaks. So I can't work as much as I'm working and create as much as I'm creating. So one's gonna have to give. And I thought that maybe Patreon would help. We'll see, time will tell. Is there such a thing as talking too much? I don't think so. Annie, I've got your comments. I mean, I don't know if you've left more comments that I haven't seen, but for the most part, I've seen most of your comments and I've either replied to them or read them with the intention of replying to them within the next couple of days. No, again, Maddie, you don't leave negative. And I don't know if I want to call her old name, but her new name. So, for example, Annabella has never left me a negative comment, but for some reason, every single comment that she left me, long or short, got deleted. I don't know why. Oh, thank you. I think this is like, not I think this is one of my favorite parts, and I do really appreciate the fact that you guys are spending time with me, that you're interacting with me, that you watch my channel, that you take the time to leave me nice comments. It does make a difference, and I think it helps me enjoy it more, right? I don't like it to feel completely one-sided. um so that's why I do this. Thank you so much for joining, Julie. I really appreciate it. Have a blessed night. No problem, Annie. Absolutely no problem. Thank you so much. So, in terms of Patreon, because you guys are MVPs, I mean, we're jamming together at 2:30 a.m. What else could this be? Do you have any video idea? Not videos necessarily. Any like reward ideas? Any things? Do you support artists on Patreon? Is it something that you're into or something that you're not? And obviously, I'll still continue to make YouTube videos because I still love YouTube videos. I'll still continue to do live streams, but I just wonder if it might help me get balance so that I can at least do this for a long time, not a short time. Let me see. I wonder if is my phone back? 12%. I'm just bringing up my other camera. This girl just does not know when to go to bed, does she? By this girl, I mean me. I am this girl. Ooh, is it echoing? Is it echoing now? Thank you. That's the casual, the little sketch I was doing while we were chatting. But yeah, I think I think you guys are right. I have nothing to lose. I just also want it to be something that is helpful. That I just want to offer something that is actually helpful and beneficial for people. And that again will ultimately work, right? Because like you said, shipping makes things next to impossible. So I was thinking of like more digital rewards, like you mentioned, Zoom sessions or extra Zoom sessions. I also am really like I've spent so much time watching videos about how to grow on YouTube, and I've tried a whole bunch of things. So I also love discussing that aspect, um, as well as art. And so yeah, I'm brainstorming. I just wanted to know whether it's something I should do. But I guess sometimes you just have to do something and see how it works. So I'll do that. But thank you all so much for keeping me company. I had such a good time. This is my, can you see? Just a 2-minute pen sketch with a biro. I love a good biro. I really appreciate you guys, and I had such a lovely time, and especially like loosening up, which is what my sketchbook session was intended for. We have done a whole bunch of stuff. We have seen how wildly core moves. We've also seen like compared it to Holbein. We've done all these paintings. And this one. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a lovely night if it's the middle of the night, or lovely day if it's in the day. Until next time. Bye. Thank you so much. Bye, Temple. Bye, Annie. Bye, Delia. Bye, Mono. Thank you so much for joining. Bye, Junior. Oh, Te amo, you're still here. Thank you. Good night. I hope you have a lovely night. AKA Nurse in Wonderland RGN. Thank you so much, guys. Good night. Until next time. You too. Thank you so much, Lindo. I hope I'm saying that right. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. Good night, guys. And keep an eye out for the next video, which is my birthday haul video. Good night. Bye.